gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Monday, December the 11th, 2023, in the year of our Lord, at Scottsburg Board of Public Works and Safety. So welcome to one and all. And we begin by a roll call by Clerk Treasurer Jan Hartley.
Mayor Amick.
Here.
Karen Brucius. Here. Tom Lewis.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Hartley. The next thing on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from our November 27th, 2023. If you've had a chance to read through those and find no errors or corrections or additions or subtractions need to be made, we'll accept an offer to pass on.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Karen Brucius makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Hearing a second by Tom Lewis. Is there any other questions here? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. The next thing we have is we're into new business, and we have with us today Joe Wheatley. So, Joe, our first thing is insurance, and you're up to bat here, buddy.
Mayor, thank you. Good to see you guys.
Always good to see you, Joe.
The property casualty insurance renews on January 1st. And we have been into the marketplace. The insurance has been with Zurich, which is the largest insurer in the world, for quite a few years now. And Zurich decided to leave the marketplace, insuring municipalities, at the beginning of November. So just in the last 45 days. And Indiana law, they only have to give 45 days notice of insurance carriers if they want to exit the market. So we found a carrier in Munich American. Munich is the second or third largest insurer in the world, based in Germany, but also a heavy rider in the United States. They are rated A+, plus 15, just like Zurich is, and Munich has stepped in to take over the insurance program. We marketed the account to several markets, including Travelers, Glatfelter, Trident, and others. And most of them, really all the markets came back and said, we don't want to write any new municipalities at this time. And the reasons for that are the continued underwriting losses, particularly related to property losses across the United States. It's not hurricanes and wildfires, it's actually thunderstorms and severe thunderstorms that are having an impact, a big bad impact on the insurance market in the US. So several carriers said, we write municipalities, we just don't want any more right now. The capacity to write property insurance has shrunk by about 35% since the beginning of 2020. And with that, the renewal prices have increased on all the lines except for the workers' comp. Workers' comp has actually gone down. We did a good bit of work with the mayor and his staff last year on the insurance to value of the buildings and the properties that the city has. That's the sewage treatment plant, all the way to lift stations, pump stations, etc. And the good news on that work that we did a year ago is the carrier was very comfortable with the values that we presented to them a year ago, where a lot of insureds are seeing their limits having to go up because the cost of construction has gone up. In other words, we addressed that issue a year ago for the city, and the carrier is very comfortable with it. So what we have in front of you is the line by line, so property, general liability, automobile, public officials liability, workers' comp, and the umbrella insurance for all of the exposures that the city has for property and casualty. And again, the workers' comp premium has gone down, but the other lines of insurance premiums have gone up, largely driven by property results across the country. The property results here have been really good. We're one thunderstorm away from them being bad. That's just the nature. We saw that down in Tennessee over the weekend. It's just the nature of the weather in the United States. And then on the public officials' liability, there's just more and more lawsuits in the US against public officials. They used to be pretty sacred, but anymore, that cost has gone up in some of the major cities. And so we buy insurance in that pool. And so the litigation costs, if you see the TV midday, you can see the lawyer firms that are advertising, and that cost has gone up. So we're seeing increases of 30, 50, and 60%. Scottsburg did not see that kind of an increase. You're looking overall about 14%. That's because of the good management you have, the good experience you have. You did the work on the insurance to value. The mayor spent a lot of time on it over a little bit more than a year ago. And we've seen material costs go up. They've come down. The carriers were comfortable with the limits that you guys have selected and worked through, so I applaud you for doing that. We haven't had that kind of success with some of our other insurance, believe me. So with that, you've got a document in front of you that breaks down the cost by line of business. We tried to summarize that for you. We worked with the various staff folks here over the fall to make sure we had the vehicles on the schedule correct, make sure that we had the payroll right on the workers' comp, just to make sure that any changes that have been made during the year that we captured those. And so this document really just summarizes the premiums associated with those lines of business, but the schedules associated with the limits behind are included in this document. Couple of quick key features to Munich that are pluses. Munich gives on their umbrella a double aggregate. This is a plus. Your aggregate, $5 million per occurrence, $5 million in the aggregate. On the expiring umbrella, it's now $5 million, $10 million. One of the other things that Munich includes now that you didn't have before is a failure to supply services. So utility services like water and sewer. If the city fails to supply that and it causes a business to resulting in damage to that business, that is now covered under this form. And then the last feature, Munich tosses in a $50,000 life insurance benefit for first responders killed in the line of duty. That's in addition to what you would get under your workers' comp and any other life insurance that is purchased in your group health insurance. Munich is tossing in under the property casualty a benefit of $50,000 for first responders killed in the line of duty. So those are three new enhancements, which are pluses, I think, of going with a Munich American. And so with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Let me say this, is that typically in line of work, running a business, you want to have two partners. One is your bank and one is your insurance guy. And typically, I always sit down annually with both. And, and when we sat down, Joe and I sat down last year, we found things that were too high and things that were too low. And so we meet annually to see what we've added, what we have sold out, or disposed of, whatever the case is. But if you go through the packet here, you can see what it was and where it is. We are receiving a 14.72 rate increase, is what it is. But with everything that's been going on, so what questions do you guys have? And Joe, it was Munich what?
Munich American, so Munich Insurance Company. They're either the second or third largest in the world. I didn't specifically look it up on the way up, but they are very large. They're using the same claims service, same TPA, and then IPEP, which is the Indiana Public Entity Fund, is still writing the workers' comp. And the IPEP is specifically a fund for Indiana municipalities. They're actually the most competitive work comp fund. And we've had some meetings with them on claim service to make sure that they're paying attention to the city. So we on the workers' comp, we went to several monoline companies, including ClearPath and Summit, Liberty Mutual, and all of them said, we don't like the exposure of police and fire first responders. IPEP, that's what they do. They write most of the municipalities in the state of Indiana. They don't have a problem with first responders. So that combination we felt was the best, and it actually turned out to be the only this year, simply because of how hard the insurance market is. When you hear the term hard market, it means it's very difficult to negotiate and get good terms, and yet we're seeing increases, as I said earlier, 50 and 60% with some of our other municipalities and our other commercial businesses that we write. This hasn't been a very fun year to deliver renewals, but you guys should be proud of the work that you've done. That was recognized by the new carrier.
Yeah. And I met with Marita as well as the risk manager for IPEP not too long ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And one of the things that we committed to was in the first quarter to get some of the claims team together with to tighten up the process on how those claims flow. So we'll be scheduling that in the first quarter.
Thank you. We also watch our experience rating because that's important. So there's things we make determine, do we give this the insurance, do we pay it ourselves, what do we do? So these decisions are made. Let's talk to our legal counsel, Josh Dickey. What is your concerns?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Tom, Karen, what questions do you have?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I will make one comment. Your cyber liability insurance, and that's for folks that might hack into your computer system and hold you ransom or do damage to the system. That carrier is CFC. We've gotten a renewal pricing from them, but we're still negotiating that, and we think that could come down still. But they found a IT, what's the right
It's
term
the
for
IP
this?
address.
IP address that they said might have been compromised, and they're trying to determine, is that yours address or is that somebody
This is
that works
Stacy Amy
with
that
them?
you all have been.
And so they're wanting like an answer for that, and we're like,
We haven't been given that though.
okay,
Nobody's gave us that IP address if it was. I've not gotten a report from it.
okay.
Okay, did we send you the email last week? Or I know Joe reached out to me about it.
I
Okay,
don't
we'll,
have anything about this IP.
okay, this is, yeah.
Yeah, they're not withholding, doing anything,
They
they're
just
just
want to
like,
verify.
they have the way now, it's amazing, these underwriting
Yes.
companies, they can tap into your system and go, okay, this looks really good, this looks really good, here's something of concern,
Yeah.
we'll get you that.
And we're an ISP too, so that's,
Pardon?
we're an ISP on top of internal IT, so,
That could be
yeah,
some of
so,
it.
yeah, we own IP addresses that aren't internal for the city network,
Okay,
that are external to other businesses, so.
but we're also working with another company called Coalition, so what does this all mean? Your premium could actually go down on the cyber, okay? It won't go, from what we have proposed here, it won't go any higher. We're still in the middle of finalizing the negotiation. If we don't like what happens there, Coalition may end up being a better deal.
And Joe, we were very conscious of hacking into our, so we've actually hired companies, I believe, to try to get into our systems.
Mhm.
And so IT is a big thing for City of Scottsburg. So we've just brought in new software, so we're in the process of all those things. So,
That's good. It is an area that the perpetrators are targeting. They are targeting municipalities. They are targeting healthcare,
yeah.
and they're targeting education because they think, well, there's not enough, they don't put enough money or enough care into them, and you're proving them wrong, which is good, but this cyber liability is basically there to protect you if something goes wrong.
What question do you two have for us?
I don't have any questions. I think Joe pretty much wrapped up and covered everything. I will say that, like you mentioned, the work comp, you all had an experience rating that went up just due to loss history. And we were able to negotiate credit on that to offset that cost.
Good.
But I did want to mention that to you all.
And then the only other thing I wanted to add is because, you know, we're fairly new to this particular account, which this gave us a good opportunity to go through everything. One of the things I would like to do is, you know, depending on your timeline and what you want to see, is put together some sort of basic timeline or service timeline so that maybe in a quarter we revisit the statement of values, just so that we're always in sync as the year moves forward. That way we're better prepared in the third quarter of next year to work on the renewal, you know, as we get surprised on certain things and that type of stuff, so that we always know we got the pulse of it.
Thank you, that's what we're looking for.
Well, I think, if I don't mind me interjecting, I think that's a great idea, Amy, because again, kudos to Joe, Amy, and Landon. This is probably the earliest that we've brought this to the table to be approved. So thank you all. I know you were trying to screw down your, like Randy and that team that works for him. So greatly, my office greatly appreciates it. And so the next thing is just get us the bill so we can get it processed if this is approved. Because we want to get we don't want to be doing that on the 29th of December, as has been done in the past.
Joe worked through the weekend, I think, on Sunday.
I hope he did, because we had him, yeah. When they were sending emails on Sunday, I was like, yes, I'm glad to know somebody else works on Sunday.
I decided not to send you all of these articles I get about, you know, the oh woe is and the doom and the sky is falling in the insurance business. But I will say that the thunderstorm situation is real. There's been close to $31 billion insurance disasters this year in the United States, and almost all of them are thunderstorm or line of thunderstorm related. Where in years past it was always wildfires and hurricanes, and I remind our underwriters that Indiana, this area of the country, hadn't been hit by a tidal wave in about 2 billion years. So the disasters that are happening on the coast don't affect here. It's hard to argue when the thunderstorms and the lines of thunderstorms are creating $10 billion events. And is it global warming? I don't know. Is it an anomaly? I don't know. All I do know is the underwriting ratios at carriers are over 100% now. And they're consistently over 100%, and that usually means all boats rise. And that's what we're seeing this year.
Well, Joe and team, thank you for your hard work.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for your business.
Do we have a motion to go forward with this?
Motion to approve the contract agreement.
Thomas makes a motion to approve the renewal. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
There's seconds. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank
you,
you.
folks.
Thank you all.
Happy holidays to all.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Let me jump
Sent Stacy
down
that email.
to the Let me go right to Stacy if I can on the Calix query. Stacy, would you mind coming in, just kind of standing on their shoulders, because we just talked about that. Let's talk about the Calix quote and that's not really the security, but just to inform Jan and everybody, here's what this is, because I had a question about it, and when I talked to you, you reminded me of everything. And so-
Yeah, so it's called an essential support. It's just a program that allows us to troubleshoot and monitor and assist customers from technical support side. So we can monitor if a customer calls in and they're having issues, they can't get online on something and they're on the fiber service. We're able to log in, see their equipment, monitor their Wi-Fi, see if the Wi-Fi connections on their devices are poor. If they forgot their Wi-Fi password, we have security where they have to give us information before we change that for them. It also gives us the signal of the fiber connection itself, if it's poor, if it's got an error message. We can also remotely update firmware on the actual devices at the customer's residence. So Calix is the company, but they also, when we refer to Calix, it's actual the physical manufacturer of the customer equipment that's in the home. So there are multiple things that when we refer to Calix of items that they handle. You know, it's on the fiber side of things, the residential fiber of that. And at this time, the essential support is what we use to monitor, maintain the firmware, do any troubleshooting, and things like that on the customer side.
What questions do you have about that?
Why are there three of them listed here?
That's individual years. It's a 3-year contract
3
and it's
years.
1 year, yeah.
Good question.
That makes sense.
Anything else? If not, we'll take a motion to approve the 3-year contract. Tom Lewis makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grichuk seconds. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy.
No
so very
problem.
much.
Thank you.
The great work you do. Stacy is the backbone. Thank you so much. Next, we'll go down to the Historical Review Board contract by Jan.
I don't know, I don't have that. It's one, I mean, I don't know.
What is it?
This is the Historical Review Board contract. That's basically Laura Renwick and that group. I
Do you
believe.
have the contract or, I mean, we do it every year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I thought it was in your group. Sorry, let me look real
I'm
quick.
sorry,
That's okay. Go ahead and skip it for a minute and I'll pull it up.
Okay, let's go
I
ahead
have
into
the
the
others.
Westwood Gulf Services contract.
If we could, I would just be open to a motion for C, D, and E, or we could do that all at the same time, as these are pretty well repeat services that are budgeted every year to provide to those 3 entities as assistance for community services that they provide.
So that's going to be the Westwood Westwood Gulf Services contract, the partnership contract, and the Blue River contract. All 3 of those,
Those are all for the same amount that you approved last year also,
and the year before.
and the year before that. And yes, back to 2008 on one of them, probably 2 of them.
The Blue River, just FYI they have a van that goes around and picks folks up and takes them to doctor's appointments and whatnot. Partnership agreement is out at out west and go to the golf course.
Okay, so Westwood is 30,000, other one is
65.5, I think, on the other total for partnership, and 14,500 on Blue River.
okay. Got it. I'll make a motion, we approve these 3 contracts.
Tom Lewis makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grichuk seconds that. Any questions about these 3? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, those 3 will all pass.
Then the next one is the independent contractor. As you all recall, last year, when my deputy Tish Ritchie retired, I did not replace that position. And she had a contractual services for 1.5 years now, I guess we should say. So this is basically approving what she has done for the past 1.5 years. And this was modeled after how we, you know, her agreement and the attorney agreement are basically modeled the same way.
So this is approving what she's already done, is this gonna?
No, this is to continue,
Oh, to canal.
yes. It would be from till the end of '24 and then renew monthly after that.
Okay.
Tisha's retired, but she comes back and things and helps Jan in budgets. And,
She does the two services basically that is in this contract is the budget and the annual report. And then any other training or, she has been working, since quite a bit. We pretty well were, able to do the reconciling, but she has had to assist us on that due to the change in our software for the utilities. So she is putting quite a few hours on that.
So is this
Since
is
August.
based on hourly? Is that what-
She, no, it's, the annual report, it's outside her services, it's an hourly rate.
Hourly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that all is outside of her services, it's,
Oh, so she has a set.
she has a set for the annual report and the budget, and that's all listed. Mhm. And that is split among the utilities, just as I said, just as we do the attorney, because it all feeds in to the annual report basically, and having accurate financials. She reviews those to see any, you know, if anything over the year stands out, needs to be fixed.
So approximately how many hours does she spend on this, the original, the main part of it? Do you know?
I'm not sure of her hours, since it's a set
Yeah.
salary, yeah.
Just
I can show you any of those that you've seen, any of hers are in here, and how she reports that.
Okay.
The extra, that's what she keeps track of pretty well to the minute.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract extension. Or Tish?
I'll second.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to approve the contractor agreement with Tish Ritchie. Karen Bishop seconds that. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you very much.
And I apologize, this historical
I
review.
have it.
Okay, because it's
Yeah,
just basic what we
You're correct,
do.
it is reoccurring. It's for them, they get, the contractor, it's an agreement between the Historic Preservation Commission. It's for them to get the $2,500 and for the members to get $30 a year for the members. It happens every year, and there's a copy of it in your packet.
Yeah.
The circuit rider for that is a girl named Laura Renwick, and she's been here a couple times, council meetings,
Just in the past month.
past
So it's, yeah, it's a service that we need to stay in compliance with older.
And she comes quarterly to have a board meeting, so, there's no increase, I don't believe.
No.
So,
Oh,
we'll accept a motion to accept, for that.
I'll make that motion.
Tom makes a motion to accept this review contract. There's
I'll
a
second.
Karen Bridges, seconds. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The next thing we have is a change order on number 2 Robinson Piping Cleaning.
You want me to do it, Jan? We had a change order, we had a change order in July 31st of 2023 that the mayor approved and I believe is been paid or been
it's all, we're
processed.
current, we just noticed when we were trying to audit the expenses for that SWIFT grant, we just found this one, we could not find where it was approved by Board of Work. So we would just like for the
Approval
minutes to reflect that, and it's, yes.
And again, a copy of it's in your packet.
Got it. I'll make a motion to approve this.
Tom Lewis
I'll
makes
second.
a motion to change, to approve this. Karen Bridges seconds this. Change order number 2 on Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you very much. Okay, the next we have is the approval of cell phone stipends. Jill, is that you?
That's me.
Oh,
That's me.
Emily, sorry.
I compiled a list of, one list is $50 monthly cell phone stipends and the other is $100. It's all departments compiled together. So these already get paid out, but we just need approval for 2024 for all of these cell phone stipends to be paid monthly.
So these are already,
Yeah, these are current employees, so just be for the new year.
Typically, the ones that you see that is under 100 is basically, so we can get deeper into, they are,
you don't get,
we don't get
We pay the bill.
none.
Yes, and let me explain why this happened. Years ago, we paid these and they came out on the first, with your docket here. And then they were taxed, and so that caused some dissension among the employees. So since we went to paying those every month as a reimbursement, State Board of Accounts said just to approve once a year who gets that, who's to get it. That's why we always include them when we do a new hire. And secondly, then I request every year from them, they have to provide a copy for that year dated, that they have a cell phone and all of that to stay compliant with State Board of Accounts. But no, we pay the mayor's, yeah.
This is the personal, that's mine, that I pay for, and this is the city's. That's why we carry two. I just got into it for myself. Yeah, I've had it since 14, I think, or 16.
Motion to approve the cell phone stipends for 2024.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to approve cell phone
second.
stipends. Karen Bush seconds. Any questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Approval of fire promotion is chief.
That's me again.
No,
Oh.
Emily,
Hey, Em.
Yeah, it was a long agenda, so he ran out to do some work. We just need approval of the promotion of Eric Jones from first class firefighter to captain. He's captain on the volunteer side, but this will just be reflecting on the paid side, so he'll kind of be a supervisor to the paid firefighters now. This will go into effect on 12/24, so that way it is effective on 1/1.
so it's payable, yeah, on the first check.
So we just need approval for that.
Increase due to this.
Yes, and that's in our salary ordinance, it's provided for there. The reason we're doing it now instead of in January, kudos to our HR and to payroll, they know we never split a promotion in the middle of a pay cycle. So if we wouldn't take care of this now, then it would cause problems later. Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the promotion.
Tom Lewis makes a promotion for Eric Gillespie, a firefighter.
Eric Jones
Eric Jones, I said.
must have been thinking
I
about it.
need my coffee this morning, don't I? And so Eric Jones and Karen Bush seconds that. Any questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, thank you. Okay. Next we have a claim approval.
As always, I would just be open to a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the claim as presented.
I'll second.
Karen Richards makes the motion. Tom Lewis seconds that. Any questions or comments about this? About any of the claims? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Thank you very much. What announcements do we have for today? One announcement I had heard, that I got called on, was that everything looks good for the 25th with Santa. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Anything else? We'll have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Bruce makes a motion to adjourn. Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.